Hi, welcome to another video where I take a look at what I've added to my record collection, my Depeche Mode collection, over the course of the last few weeks. And I'm going to start with some CDs. First of all, we've got Martyr Club Promo. This is a CDR. I'm quite loath to buy CDRs because I think there are some kind of counterfeit CDRs, but I took a chance on this. So this is the CDR version of PCD BONG 39, which is also available in an all plastic case on a proper CD. You can see quite a plain back to it. It's just a piece of paper that's been printed. These were sent out in the post to DJs to play, and it's a printed CDR with 6 mixes on. There's some pretty good mixes on there. Yeah, people are a bit sniffy about Martyr because it was just a track to promote the best of Volume 1 CD, and it sounded a little bit like Venus to me, that I remember Bananarama doing, but obviously that was a cover version of it earlier. Was it a Motown song? For some reason it just reminds me so much of that. Here's the mixes there on the front. So they're mostly Paul Van Dyke mixes, but there is a Bookshade dub at the end as well. And they're pretty good, to be fair. Okay, and then this looks like a box standard Songs of Faith and Devotion CD, but I saw the in-disc logo, which indicates it's actually from Benelux. In this case, it's listed as from Belgium. And I'll be careful because I can hear it rattling about inside a little bit, I think. Oh no, it's okay. The disc itself is very similar to the UK version, but it has got SABAM written on there, which caught my eye on eBay. And then the case has got a kind of weird shop photo. I think it's, you know, from Berlin, I think, by the looks of it. Some dodgy gear being sold in the shop. Then the inlay is the usual inlay with quite a grimy feel to it, and obviously Dave Garn's looking super druggy, as he was at the time in this. So they all went a bit of kind of rock and roll. It's a great album, the last album that Alan Wilder was involved with, and it's one of the only albums that got a picture of the band on the front. Sticking with albums, the reissue of the Singles 81, 85 collection. People in America will laugh. It's an American CD. This must be in so many households in America, but yeah, being in the UK, it's quite collectible to me. And it's in a Warner Brothers CD case as well, which is pretty cool, with the Reprise logo. There's no difference in the tracks to what you can get in the UK. And you can see it's got the Reprise logo on, which stood out to me on the listing. I think this was, again, it was from eBay. And then another one from eBay, which is the Remixes A1 2004, with the Reprise logo on, which means it's American. And we've got the Reprise logo there as well, and by this time we were onto the modern mute logo, which is that kind of box symbol. And then let's take a look at some 12 inches that I got. First one is the 12 inch of Loving Itself, or Loving Itself 3 it's called, because it's the extended remix. It's called a maxi single because it's a 12 inch, that's what they called them. This is from Germany. It's got Fools Bigger, kind of the extended version of Fools on the B-side, and Loving Itself 4, which is a different remix. This is INT 126816. Now, I already did have a copy of this in my collection, but on closer inspection, I realised it was a reissue, and it had the modern logo number 3, mute logo, which came out around the sort of time they started using that, around the time of Violator. This is also a reissue, but at least it's got the classic mute Walking Man logo on it. and the typical kind of light blue label that you get on the German 12 inches. So a bit of an indulgence, but I saw it listed from a UK seller at a very, very reasonable price, and that kind of supersedes the more modern reissue that I've got in my collection. And then probably the most interesting thing, and very likely to be the thumbnail for this video, is Stripped 12 inch. This has got like 5 tracks on it, so it's got the Highland mix, But Not Tonight extended mix, and then on the B-side, Breathing in Fumes, Fly on the Windscreen, Quiet Mix, and Black Day, which are all on the special edition of the Black Celebration album. I think maybe the extended mix, but Not Tonight isn't on there. You can see from the label itself, Blossom Records indicates that this is from Australia, and this is actually a promo from Australia. So it's in this kind of weird CBS Records sort of promo cover. Yeah, so this is ETUM, E-T-U-M, which is mute backwards, ETUM 810 on Blossom Records. Very plain looking label there. And then 6 years later, in 1993, Depeche Mode released Condemnation, Paris Mix, and some live tracks. So we've got Enjoy the Silence Live, Halo Live, Death's Door Jazz Mix, and we've got Rush, Spiritual Guidance Mix, the Nitrate Mix of Rush, the Wild Planet Mix of Rush, and then Condemnation Paris Mix. So this is a multi-track, you know, good value for money. Typical, actually, of the US to put loads of tracks on there, 12 inches. It's gold promo stamped, but that doesn't really mean a lot in the US market. You see this a lot on their 12 inches. And surprise, surprise, it's a Sire label with the Reprise logo on. So there's 4 tracks on side 2 and 4 tracks on side 1. So it's like a mini LP, really. So that's good value for money. And then staying in the US, and also good value for money, is I Feel Loved. So this is just the normal 12 inch. Name a remix of I Feel Loved, and it's on, I think it's on this 12 inch. The only other song that's on here is Dirt, the Iggy Pop cover. Again, it's gold promo stamped. Got the Reprise and the final modern mute logo, the box there, and the Reprise logo. Loads of remixes, mostly Danny Tenaglia, I can't pronounce his name. That first track, the Labour of Love edit, yes, it's long, but it's really good, and it's got some he's used some sounds off some of the older Depeche Mode tracks in there. I'll let somebody with a bit more better memory than me, mention in the comments perhaps what those tracks are. And we're at the stage where all the 12 inches have these kind of very sort of black, dull labels with silver text. But again, good value for money from for the US buyers. I'm assuming that there wasn't a limited 12 inch over in the US. You literally bought this in the same way they do their CD singles with all the tracks on, and don't do the limited ones for these ones from Exciter onwards. So yeah, pretty cool. Probably pretty boring to somebody, a viewer in the US, but I'm quite happy to have it in my collection. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next week with some vinyl records, some proper LPs. So keep an eye out for that. And also it includes my 1,500th item in my collection. Cheers. See you again.